Hey everyone, welcome back. You're probably knee-deep in ortho textbooks right now.
Literally.
Haha, yeah, gearing up for those big exams.
Yeah.
So we thought, why not tackle a topic that's pretty much guaranteed to show up? The meniscus.
Oof. Yeah, big one.
To make sure we hit all the high-yield points, we're diving into the orthomeniscus. Made simple notes from mokyingren.sg.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah, right. They're super helpful.
Yeah.
And they're created by Dr. Mokyingren,
Yeah.
who's a sports surgeon at National University Hospital over in Singapore.
Yeah.
He actually just finished his FRCS in 2022.
Yeah, recently.
So super relevant for all of us studying right now.
Okay.
Let's get into it. Now, when I was studying, I found it really helpful to visualize the anatomy.
Yeah.
So let's all picture this together.
All right.
You're looking down at a right knee, like a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Okay, you with me?
Yep, I'm there.
We've got two menisci, right? The medial and the lateral. Now, what are the key differences between these two, especially in terms of their shape and attachments?
Yeah, so visualizing them is super important. The lateral meniscus is almost a perfect semicircle. It's kind of like a big C, and it sits on the outer side of the knee. It has attachments to the ACL, but it's not as restricted as the medial meniscus.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, it's got these two ligaments, the Humphrey and Risberg ligaments, which actually give it a bit more freedom to move around.
Huh. No.
And it even has a special little groove for the popliteal tendon to slide through.
Wow. That's super detailed.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the lateral meniscus is more mobile and maybe designed to handle a bit more movement and stress.
Oh, exactly. It's kind of like the daredevil of the two menisci.
Okay, I like it. Now, what of the medial meniscus? What makes it special?
All right, so the medial meniscus is more of a C shape,
Okay.
and it sits on the inner side of the knee. It's attached to the ACL and PCL. But the big difference here is that it's also firmly attached to the joint capsule and the deep MCL
Oh, wow.
via these things called the coronary ligaments.
Okay.
And these ligaments really restrict its movement.
So it's got it locked in place.
Pretty much. And that's
Yeah.
actually one of the reasons why it's more prone to injuries, especially when you have those MCL tears happening at the same time.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So it's all about those attachments, right? They really dictate how the menisci move and how they can get injured. Now let's zoom in even further. Let's talk about the microscopic anatomy of the meniscus. What's going on at that level?
Ooh, this is where it gets really cool.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So imagine the meniscus like a super strong suspension bridge, okay?
Okay, I'm picturing it.
On the surface, you've got these parallel fibers running along the length of the meniscus. And then in the middle layer, you've got oblique fibers that crisscross, giving it extra strength.
Okay.
But the real stars of the show are these deep circumferential fibers.
Circumferential.
These are like the main cables of our bridge, and they're the ones responsible for handling something called hoop stresses.
Okay, hoop stresses. I feel like I'm back in physics class. Can you break that down for
Yeah.
me? What are hoop stresses and why are they so important in the meniscus?
Right, good question. So basically, when the knee is under load, like when you're jumping or twisting, those circumferential fibers are arranged in a way that converts the downward force,
Okay,
the axial compression, into outward tension.
interesting.
Kind of like if you were stretching a hoop, right? And this clever design is what helps distribute the load evenly across the meniscus, protecting it from getting damaged.
So it's like a built-in shock absorber protecting the articular cartilage.
Exactly.
That's pretty brilliant. Okay, now what happens when those fibers get disrupted? Like say if you have a meniscus tear.
That's when things get a little tricky.
Yeah.
Understanding those hoop stresses becomes really important for surgeons when they're trying to decide whether to repair the tear or remove part of the meniscus.
Oh, I see.
If they can repair the tear and preserve those circumferential fibers,
Right.
then you're basically maintaining that shock absorption and protecting the knee from long-term damage.
That makes total sense. So those tiny fibers are actually playing a huge role in the long-term health of the knee. All right, let's move on to the composition of the meniscus. What's this thing actually made of? I remember this being a favorite exam question.
Oh yeah, they love to ask about that. It's mainly type 1 collagen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep. About 90% of the meniscus is made up of type 1 collagen, which makes it super strong and flexible.
Yeah.
And that's what gives it that fibrocartilage feel.
Okay, but there's going to be more to it than just collagen. Right?
Probably. We also have proteoglycans in there
Oh, yeah?
and elastin,
Yeah.
which you also find in articular cartilage.
Right.
And the proteoglycans are really cool because they attract water, keeping the meniscus hydrated and springy.
So it's like a super absorbent sponge, soaking up all that synovial fluid and keeping everything lubricated.
Exactly. That's a great way to think about it. Now, another important thing to remember for your exams is the blood supply to the meniscus. Remember how it changes over time?
Oh, yeah. Back to those embryology days.
Oh.
Those zones of vascularity always trip me up.
Yeah. So at birth, the meniscus is fully vascularized.
Hmm.
But as we grow, things change. And by the time we're adults,
Right.
only the outer rim of the meniscus,
Okay.
the so-called red zone, has a good blood supply.
So that means tears in that area have a better chance of healing on their own.
Exactly. They can also be repaired more easily.
Got it.
But the inner portion of the meniscus,
Yeah.
the white zone,
Okay.
is avascular, meaning it has very poor blood supply.
So healing is a lot tougher there.
Yeah. Tears in that area often don't heal well, which is why we sometimes have to consider removing the damaged part.
Right. Makes complete sense. And this is where that classic Fairbanks study comes in, right? The one that looked at what happens when you just remove the meniscus completely.
Oh yeah, Fairbanks, a classic.
I remember reading that paper and being like, whoa, this is serious stuff. What did Fairbanks find?
Well, he followed patients for years after they had a meniscectomy,
Yeah.
and he found that their knees underwent some pretty significant changes.
Like what?
The joint space narrowed, the femoral condyle started to flatten out,
Ah.
and they had a much higher risk of developing arthritis down the line.
So basically, taking out the meniscus is not a long-term solution.
Exactly. That's why we try to preserve the meniscus as much as possible.
Yeah, it's not just some random piece of cartilage in there. It's actually crucial for the health of the knee. And speaking of its importance, I can't forget to mention its role in load transmission. What was that percentage again? It's pretty mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The meniscus actually transmits about 50% of the load that goes through the knee.
50%. That's incredible. It's like a shield protecting the articular cartilage from all that stress.
Yeah, it plays a huge role in keeping those joints healthy.
Absolutely.
Ah.
Okay, before we wrap up, I'm curious, where else in the body do we find these meniscus-like structures?
Well, you see them in a few other joints, like the AC joint in the shoulder,
Okay.
the sternoclavicular joint, or SC joint, and even in the wrist. The TFCC, or triangular fibrocartilage complex.
Right. I always forget about that one.
Yeah. It acts a lot like a meniscus for the ulna.
So it's like nature found a really good design and decided to use it in multiple places.
Exactly. It's a great solution for distributing load and protecting those joints.
Awesome. Well, that was a super comprehensive deep dive into the meniscus using those fantastic Ortho Made Simple notes from mokyingren.sg.
Yeah, I highly recommend them.
Definitely. So for all of you future ortho surgeons out there, here's a little something to think about. If the meniscus is so important for knee health and force transmission, what are the latest advancements in meniscus repair and regeneration? Because that's going to be a hot area of research, right?
Absolutely. Lots of exciting stuff happening in that field.
Yeah. So keep those brains buzzing and good luck with those exams.
You got this.
We're all rooting for you.
Yes.
All right, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive.
See ya.